don't know if my love is real. Baby, listen to me, here's the deal. When you're not here, I'm not the same. I'm needing a new chapter, babe. Been stuck here in a bed for days. I've been staring at the telephone, cause when you're gone, I miss your face. Late o'clock, body talk, there's no need to bring it up. Nothing you say makes it better. Wrecking ball, tear see you watching me when we're with our friends. It's definitely something in the air. So let's take it from there, 'cause I know you want it. Afraid to let it show, and I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow, grow, grow? I think it's time we stop tipping on our toes. What's holding you back now, sugar? 'Cause I don't know, sure know you want it. Afraid to let it show, and I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow? Why don't we let it, why don't we let it grow, 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 grow? It grows stronger for every day. We just can't keep it away, no. Grow, 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 grow. It grows stronger for every day. We just can't keep it away. Oh, make you move before someone takes your place. I know how you feel, but you're scared to say to my face. I sure know you want it. Afraid to let it show, and I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow? Why don't we let it, why don't we let it grow, 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 grow? It grows stronger for every day. We just can't keep it away. Grow, 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 grow. It grows stronger for every day. We just can't keep it away. Yeah. Make you move before someone takes your place. I see you watching me when we're with our friends. There's definitely something in the air. So let's take it from there. So let's take it from there. Why don't we let it grow, 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 grow? And I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow? I know you want it. Afraid to let it show. You need it, baby. Why don't we let it? Why don't we let it grow, 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 Why don't we let it grow, 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 grow? Why don't we let it grow? Why don't we let it? Why don't we let it grow?
Just like to say good morning. It's been a while. I've been sitting back and relaxing and enjoying myself, trying to take care of my own business, listen to all the static of the world, and I think it was time for me to come out and speak out and do a show on the world is shifting. And here it is. We are 12 years into this internet, YouTube, and we still talking about relationships. I'm not saying relationships is not important, but I'm going to tell you what's about to come around just in 2025, like I predicted. And I got my receipts all over the internet, and they've been there ever since 2018. And so I'm not surprised about what's happening. I know a lot of y'all talk about the Cat Williams coming out and exposing Hollywood. Not only me, but a lot of other brothers did it way before Cat Williams. And I'm glad that he got his flowers for the people to sit back and listen to him, what was going on in a certain category as far as the entertainment sector. My belief is, and a lot of people might want to disagree with me, and I understand that. And you want to disagree, that's up to you. But from my experience throughout life, I said the most thing that I regretted in my life more than anything is when I worked in a strip club. And there haven't been anything else that I say I regretted it as far as my life goes. And that's just show I'm accountable for the things that the things that I did. And so I know about this way before I came and started working in Hollywood. I worked in the music industry before I worked in Hollywood. I worked at a radio station with this Southern dialect. I was one of the hottest DJs on turntable. You can talk all the junk you want to talk, but you get me on a 1200, I show you. I do the things you do on these little electronic things to do it for you yourself. They made the electronics after the DJs was able to have so much talent on the turntable, so you couldn't duplicate it, so they put it all in electronics. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about what's really going on and why did I predict that I needed to be away from the United States by 2025, starting way back before the epidemic started, or whatever they want to call that, the COVID, Yobi in 19, 20, and 21. I warned people a year and a half was my first video coming into YouTube space. I have been in Facebook for a long period of time before I even discovered there was a YouTube doing live. And so my first video was, I think the name of it, I still have it on my page, it was something like, we need to talk, we need to get healthy. And that whole video was preparing y'all for the COVID that came along and wiped out a lot of us. And I told you the only thing you had to do is change your diet. I'm not going to do too much speaking and talking tonight. I got some things I want to review. I know Candy Owens is going off because the Janet Jackson thing, and she's bringing some truth to the highlight. And as you see in my top left-hand corner, my African brothers is young brothers are changing the way that they do business in Africa, and it's spreading like wildfire. Then you got the trial. Then we got another trial gonna come after that, and that whole trial right there is a joke. If you want comedy, just go and look at that trial. The brother Woody, he was something else. I think they kept him on the witness stand for 5 or 6 days. And it was a laugh every hour, seemed like. Didn't even seem to be real. It seemed to be something like something was made in Hollywood. Then you got AI. AI is, nobody's really talking about it anymore. I guess people just haven't accepted it, but I break AI down just like this. There's 700 billion people on this planet. 7 billion people, not 700, but 7 billion people on this planet. And AI is nothing other than all them people have been put in one machine. And so when you try to go against it, you're going against 7 billion people on this planet. From everything you ever conversated or through a internet or any kind of communication or any, logo you ever put or expression you ever put on, they put all that into one mass data computer, and they put that against you. Let me just give you a case in point when you'll know what I'm talking about. So you take the 100 best chess players in the world, and you put them, all they moves in one computer. And then you got one individual who comes up and try to play the best 100 players at one time. That's all AI is. It's everybody grouped into a database, and it can respond by like every human being on this earth has responded. All right, then we're gonna move down here to Russia. The war that's going on over there. And we have spent so much money into this war because I think there's things hidden in that country, and they don't want it to be exposed. Some of the stuff in the early part of the year, when this war started, a lot of things started to be exposed. We had biological labs over there, and that's supposed to be against the Geneva Convention and everything else. And then, let me jump over to Israel before we get to Trump and Vice President. You got people in Israel telling people that you should just wipe out everybody. Now, I don't know if it sounds the same to you. I think this is what Hitler wanted to do. So how did the people with this Jewish faith want to come and do someone, how they become a victim all up to this point to the world? They always claiming being a victim, but they want to wipe out somebody the same way someone wanted to wipe them out. You can't make this up, people. Then let's slide over to the middle. I don't understand why people started attacking Candace Owens. They pretty much know how she get down. And then somebody from the camp attacked the Janet Jackson, The View, and all these Democrats who want, look, it's a damn shame that we had a lady one time that was in charge of the NAACP, and she proclaimed that she was black. And to come out to find out she had 2 white parents. And if you look at her pictures, she do, because I'm going to do a show on that too. So you look at her pictures, you can look at it and say, hey, maybe she is black. She did the Tony curls to her hair, kept a tan all the time, and she was in charge of the NAACP. Y'all remember this? This happened about 4 or 5 years ago. Our memory is, we have selective memory. And we have amnesia, it seems like every year, or every 24 hours, really, sometimes. Now, y'all would say it wouldn't matter what this woman is if she wants to be president. But if a person lied to you about who she is, what the hell you think she gonna do when she get in the White House? We don't went through this shit with Obama. So I don't understand. I happen to live in California. I'm not a native of California, but I was here when she was working out here. And everybody know that her and Willie Brown, as allegedly, no, I can't even say allegedly because she's, it was said out of her own mouth. Like, she had an affair with a married man. And so they have this thing in California that, excuse my bad English, she effed and asked herself all the way to the White House. Now, I used to think that if you got down like that, you had a false ceiling. But if she make it to the highest office in America, maybe I was wrong all the time. You can't fuck yourself all the way to the White House. And then you got Trump. He's been indicted. And let's be honest. You look at the cases that they indicted him, they tried to stop this man from running for president. It had nothing to do with He didn't do anything that no other president did. And I don't think they're fooling black men. Matter of fact, I don't think they're fooling black women, the Democrat Party, like they used to fool us. I mean, we can only go with this shit so long before we have to wake up and say we're no longer go fall into this being fooled by either party. My thing is, it's 2 birds and they all it's 2 wings and they're all flying on the same bird. I have a saying for the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. The only difference is the Democrats, they want to kill you before you born, And the Republicans want to kill you after you're born. Now think about what I just said. One, want to give you the opportunity to kill something they say is, delete something that they say is nothing other than a chicken egg. And then, when you look at the Republican Party, they say, well, he's no good. He's a worthless eater, and he have committed so many crimes. Let's give him some legal injection and get his ass on off Earth. So, it's the same thing. I don't know why black people are even fighting about this anymore, because at one time we were damn near 99% Republican, because we were considered conservative people. But I guess everything changed like everything changed. So, that's what that picture represents. You're looking at over there on the right-hand side of all the mess that we are in. With all that mess we are in, we are talking about relationship. And my title is, maybe there's a little Diddy in all of us. And that's how I started this off. Maybe just there's a little Diddy in all of us. And we only feel good about it if we can point our fingers at someone else. So you give me about 2 minutes. I'm gonna crank this music up just a little bit. And we're gonna get started with our special guest that I'm gonna do a review, because I think he breaks it down within about 35 minutes, and he really breaks it down. Okay? So give me about 2 minutes.
That is what my heart says. That's what my heart says. I wanna be with you always. You are my world in every place. It's the things that you do, and it's the smile on your face. And as time goes by,
Just like to thank Markers, Miss Melanin University. She's always out there in the clouds, supporting her brother from a different mother and father. Marcus as well, Angel Hall. Or should I say Paula? Here we go.
Cause that is what my heart says. That's what my heart says. I wanna be with you always. Always, yeah. You are my world in every place. Oh, it's the things that you do. It's the things you do, baby. And it's the smile on your face. Smile on your face. And as time goes by, I know I'm in a better place. A better place.
A lot to talk about. For me, the most interesting thing is what is demonstrated on multiple levels about the Western psyche. I mean, whether it's Weinstein or Epstein or Diddy or say R. Kelly or Dominique Strauss-Kahn, who everyone forgets about, the predation and the degeneracy of the super rich is always met with disingenuous shock and disgust. While simultaneously, without fail, we're also always told that everyone knew what these people were doing for years. And in fact, I think that most people do understand that this is how the super rich behave. So the shock is not genuine. But if we're being honest, the disgust isn't genuine either. Because in fact, being rich enough to behave this way is precisely why many people want to be rich. The predation and the degeneracy are not peculiarities of the wealthy. The thing that makes them different is that they have the resources that enable them to do it. But for a very large percentage of people in the West, the only thing that's preventing them from behaving the same way is their comparative poverty, not their comparative piety. The rich are not necessarily any worse than the rest of the people morally. Their wealth just removes the constraints that restrict other people from being just as bad. I mean, if you look at popular entertainment, the sort of lifestyles that are promoted in popular entertainment and were promoted in the film and music industries by the likes of Weinstein and Diddy and R. Kelly and everyone else, that's the degenerate, debauched, hedonistic, anti-human, immoral lifestyle that they themselves were living and to which the consumers of that entertainment aspire. It's completely consistent with the mentality of colonizers and slave masters. The fantasy lifestyle for Westerners is brutal. It is to dominate, to humiliate, to exploit, abuse, subjugate, degrade, objectify, dehumanize, tyrannize, and enslave. That's the Western fantasy. It always was, and it is now, and they act upon it any chance they get. I mean, they'll prosecute these types of people, these select cases, only to absolve themselves. You know, they need to burn someone at the stake just to convince themselves that they're better than them, that they're more righteous and more moral than them, but they're not. Most of them are not. I mean, look at any music video, almost any music video, and tell me how it's not promoting the exact same lifestyle that you claim to hate Epstein and Weinstein and Diddy for. Meanwhile, those videos have hundreds of millions of views and hundreds of millions of likes, and you memorize the words of those songs. You have a problem. You can't reform yourselves. You can't reform and rehabilitate your so-called civilization by just prosecuting token offenders. Finding these people guilty doesn't make you innocent. When you made them rich and you made them famous on the very basis of the degenerate messaging that they promoted and that you devoured. You've endorsed it all along, and you endorse it now. You aspired to it then, and you aspire to it now. I mean, you literally have someone like Andrew Tate, who directly built his wealth through and for this very lifestyle, and by selling it to others, selling to others how they could do the same thing and have that same lifestyle. Because this is the Western male fantasy. I mean, think about it. Everybody in this case, in the Sean Combs case, everybody wants to know about the celebrities who were at those parties. No one wants to know about the nameless, faceless executives, the obscure, pasty old men for whom those parties were undoubtedly actually arranged in the first place. The celebrities were just the draw. They were the party favors provided for those anonymous owners and controllers of global financialized capital. But you want to know about the celebrities because even in your proclaimed disgust, you're still fantasizing. So I find the selective disgust to be performative. And that's actually useful. That's a useful thing to know about the Western psyche and how they respond when the crimes of their society get highlighted. Because yes, in my view, these are crimes of Western society because the individual crimes of someone like Diddy are reflective of the values and the aspirations of Western society itself. So when these crimes get highlighted, in other words, when for whatever reason, for any particular individual, these crimes are suddenly and selectively subject to accountability, there's a choir of hypocritical condemnation and outrage. Now that matters to me, for instance, in the context of the Article 6 campaign to expel the United States from the United Nations, because just like Diddy or Weinstein or whoever, just like those criminals and just like how everyone has known about their degeneracy for years, so too everyone knows about America's crimes. And just like with Diddy or with Weinstein, everyone is complicitly silent until the moment of accountability comes. Then they all rush to a microphone to distance themselves and disown the criminal with self-absolving condemnation. So this is why you might see France and the UK not veto Article 6 at the Security Council, because once we bring all the US violations to light in an official venue, not just in an essay or a book or a lecture or what have you, but actually in an official legal venue, violation after violation, crime after crime, human rights abuse after human rights abuse, stretching back for 8 decades. and call it out for what it is. Why France and the UK are likely to act just like every associate of Diddy or Weinstein or Epstein or any of these other degenerate predators, and race each other to the podium to condemn and distance themselves and exonerate themselves and try to salvage their own reputations and polish their own image, and assure the world of how good they are, how law-abiding they are, how principled they are, by throwing America under the bus. I mean, do you think that any of the European colonial powers were actually happy to watch the US take over their empires? No. France and the UK are both seething with bitterness and resentment and envy. While they'll be just as happy to watch America fall as all those associates and co-conspirators of Diddy are happy to watch that belligerent criminal go to jail, if they have been clever enough to protect themselves from being prosecuted themselves for their association with him. I think France and the UK are just the same. They're in the same position as those associates of Diddy. They won't veto Article 6 because it would too blatantly expose them as being part of the same criminal syndicate as America. It's like cutting a deal for immunity with prosecutors. This is why it's useful to understand the psyche, because frankly it helps with analysis and strategizing, to understand the Western psyche, to know who you're dealing with and how they behave. I mean, there are actually so many facets to this story in terms of social critique. Like the fact that, okay, someone like Diddy, and actually most of the artists who were associated with him, were actually mediocre talents at best, with one or two exceptions. But you can literally see people uploading independently on social media today who are immeasurably more talented than these people are, than the people who the industry designates as being top-tier artists. Now, to me, that reflects the financialization of the economy, whereby billionaires are created not by producing, not by creating, not by manufacturing, not by actually making excellent products, but just by manipulation of financial markets. Virtual money, virtual valuation of shares, stocks, what have you. Like I've said before, Elon Musk did not become as rich as he is now by selling Teslas. He got rich through financialization and share buybacks of Tesla to artificially inflate the share price, resulting in his net worth ballooning for no reason whatsoever connected to production or to sales. So in the financialized economy, profit and wealth are disconnected from actually creating or manufacturing products of value. It is unearned money. So it's the same with artists. It's the same. A singer or a rapper or what have you, it's like a Tesla. They're just a financial instrument. Their profile is the source of their profit. Their celebrity is the source of their profit. And it doesn't matter at all whether they have any talent or not. Just like it doesn't matter that there are so many electric cars on the market that are objectively superior to Tesla. Nor does it matter even that electric cars anyway are already absurdities to begin with. No one cares. You only have a company so that you can have shares in that company. Making things is tertiary to the purpose of a company, just like talent and producing quality songs or performances or what have you is tertiary to the purposes of an artist or a performer. Entertainment and art have been financialized. So in other words, the people who are making the most money and who are running those sectors don't care even slightly about quality or producing anything of real artistic value. This is why you have so many celebrities that everyone wonders why on earth they are celebrities when they observably have no talent whatsoever. I mean, the most obvious example, of course, is the Kardashians, who don't even pretend to have a talent. But I mean, you can find countless others among those people who the entertainment industry tells us are the most talented people in their field, but who are painfully mediocre in reality. Well, okay, this is in and of itself corruption. These are people who have built wealth without building value. So it's both corruption and immaturity. It's deceitful and parasitic, and it divorces reward from merit, from work, from discipline, from worth. It's getting without deserving. So you don't go through the development process as a person or as a society.
Are y'all listening to what this man is saying? He's putting everything in a nutshell. Excuse me. And that's how I started off by saying, one of the worstest thing I ever did was ever be a DJ in a couple strip clubs. Until I was awakened to what I was doing and involved in. Let's get back to it.
That you have to go through to actually deserve reward. That's the maturation process that can actually make you appreciate the reward once you have earned it. It's the maturation process that gives you integrity. Because unearned reward is just the other side of the coin of unaccountability.
Welcome to
if you can have unearned reward, then you will also feel that you should not have earned punishment. These are the two sides of the same attitude. Because you gained your wealth and your fame and so on outside the traditional framework of merit, hard work, and talent. So you will also feel that you exist outside the framework of accountability in terms of your wrongdoing. You're someone for whom the rules do not apply, because if the rules applied, well, then you wouldn't even be rich and famous. Because you don't deserve that, and you haven't earned that by producing value. So you think that the rules don't apply either to your merit or to your demerit. This is very, very Western. So now you have people controlling incredibly influential cultural sectors who don't care in the least about producing quality. These people give you the soundtrack, the reference points, the lexicon, the standards, the style, the attitude, the perspective, the personality, the ambiance that pervades your whole society and culture. These degenerate, deranged, deceitful, diabolical people are like the cinematographers who set the framing of your view of the world. They're the filter of popular culture that's placed over the lens through which you see reality, and it's a very dark and very warped lens. But again, this is your so-called civilization. You have this thing now, going around now, I've seen it online, that people openly talk about, what they call yachting, which is nothing but celebrities and models and actors, singers, what have you, literally being paid to fornicate with wealthy men on yachts, basically floating Diddy parties. And no one's offended, no one is outraged. Somehow for you, this is not disgusting. Because the lottery mentality of the West, you all hope to one day be one of those rich men on one of those yachts. Because you just take it as a given that this is the sort of thing that the rich get up to. And the only reason you don't get up to the same kind of debauchery and the same kind of predation as the rich is just because your finances prevent you. Not your morality, your finances. I mean, do you see how this looks to a Muslim? I mean, we see your social media platforms, Instagram, X, what have you, Facebook. These are largely being used just as delivery platforms, directing people to OnlyFans accounts or bookings for prostitutes. Your whole popular culture hypersexualizes women, glorifies violence, condones prostitution, promiscuity, drug use, drinking, pimping, gangsterism, and crime. And then you clutch your pearls in shock and disgust when one of you gets caught doing in real life what you always promoted in your songs and videos and movies. When you get caught acting in real life the same way that you acted on screen. When you get caught living the lifestyle that all of you tell each other is living the dream. Well, it looks to a Muslim like the only thing that you're actually offended about or outraged about is the getting caught part. But then, like I said, you just use those opportunities as a chance to pretend to be disgusted by the behavior of people whom you made rich because they promoted that same behavior in their songs and movies and videos. I mean, why weren't you disgusted by it when it was put to a beat? Why, if Diddy had released tapes of his parties in the form of music videos, his net worth would have tripled, and he probably would have gotten a VMA award. Because the fact is, you approve of all this. You aspire to it. And in fact, that degenerate lifestyle, that predation, and that debauchery with impunity is actually the American dream. It's the colonizer, slave master, Western imperialist dream. And for anyone who's over there in the States or in the West who genuinely, truly does feel disgusted and outraged over this kind of thing, because I know there are some of you, all I can say is, you know how they talk about situational awareness? You know, having that awareness of your surroundings and what's going on around you so that you can be alert to any threats or dangers nearby. Well, let's call this civilizational awareness. And just like someone who is oblivious to the threats and dangers around them on the street, you say that they have low situational awareness. Well, you have low civilizational awareness because you are truly walking around in a cloud of propaganda and indoctrination and obliviousness about the reality of the so-called civilization that you live in. You think that you're walking around in a park in the middle of a sunny afternoon surrounded by flowers and fuzzy animals, but you're actually in a dead-end alley at 3 in the morning in the pitch dark, and you're surrounded by psychopaths and serial killers. No, people like Epstein and Weinstein and Sean Combs are not anomalies. You're the anomaly. And in that predatory society, that makes you nothing but prey.
I mean, what can you say to that? And it took Kim less than 16 minutes to put our life in a nutshell. A lot of you been wondering why I haven't been in these spaces. A young man told me a long time ago, say, J-Speed, I'm not saying you're better than everybody else. And I'm not saying that some of the things you say in these panels is not important. But what I am saying is not your arena. You say you're like Michael Jordan, who climbs to his top and his peak, where he's aware of who he is, and what he's representing. And he's the best at his sport. And then go back to Venice Beach and start playing a bunch of amateurs. He say, do your own thing, man. The people who want to hear you, I don't care if it's 5 or 6, 13, 14, that's who you should be talking to. Not the people who just want to prove you wrong, tell you outdated, and all the other bullshit you've been dealing with in these spaces for the last 10 years. Find your own spot, bro. Do what you do with your people, because you are not only speaking about what you do and what you think would be some solutions, you're actually working in. Most of these brothers, the only thing they got is a gift for gab, and they get on these panels and they ain't doing shit in life. Not for themselves or others, other than trolling over the internet 24/7. So that's why you haven't been seeing me in these spaces, because I take life serious. I'm not fault-free. That's what I try to do for the total time I was in this space. With all my experience and all the different occupations I have had, from working in Hollywood, radio station, DJing, traveling the world, boxing, I have seen so many things that myself and others have made so many mistakes. And sometimes you just gotta let people make them mistakes. Because when it's all said and done, it's almost like you living your life all again, confronting people who don't give a damn about what you're saying. And the only thing they care about is the money that they make from other people. And so that's why I've been silent in this space for a while now. And I will be doing what I'm doing now. I'm content to be in my own home, and maybe somewhere down the line I will choose wisely to bring panels up one at a time, have the conversation. And that's the way I want to do it. That's the way I want to reach people, and that's the way I want people to listen and enjoy or try to learn or use whatever information I put out. But other than that, it's been cool for me. I'm good. I'm serious. You know, a lot of people say, they're like, hey, you know, your voice is missing in this space. Well, I've been in this space that space a long while now. And so it's time for the younger generation to figure it out for themselves. Y'all know everything, so figure it out for yourself. You don't need to be fighting me because I ain't your enemy. I ain't trying to be your enemy. I was just trying to help. And as soon as you showed me that you didn't appreciate my help, then I'm not welcome. You know, old people have this thing saying, they say, when you wear out, you're welcome. I probably wore out mine a long time ago and didn't even realize it till a young man told me, hey man, do your own thing. And I feel better. So I'm gonna play a little music. SBWD Speed, bringing it to you all the way live. 95 degrees in the shade, you know I ain't gonna sweat for nobody. I'm gonna just try to give you my best.
Don't be afraid of loving yourself, 'cause that is all you got in the end.
And that's all I can do. But I'm gonna do it from my own home. I just refuse to visit other people's houses. I'm gonna let them run it the way they wanna run it. Have the discussions they wanna have. Have their own solutions. Hey, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch it. Been predicting about what's going on right now ever since 2017. My receipts is in the cloud. Go back and look at my first show. And you'll see what I told y'all was gonna happen in 2025. And when I told you a year before that Kobe came and told you need to get your health together and start eating real food. So I'm gonna be Mr. She Said, welcome. Chicago Real, you were right on it while that video was playing. You and I have been in the music business before we could even call it music business. I was, and you was probably in the music business way before California was ever considered a major music market. It wasn't even considered a test mark. So a lot of people don't even know that. Most of the mix downs and used to go to New York because they had a sound. California had a sound, but it was more like mids and highs. When people wanted a little bit more bass in their music, they'd always send it to the East Coast. And it wasn't to what some of us would describe it as gangster rap. That's when, why people think all the music producers and stuff moved to Atlanta. Y'all gonna figure this shit out. Totally. Y'all gonna figure this shit out. A lot of y'all don't even know what's going on. And you're not gonna know what's going on. And some of you just don't even care. And I'm gonna be honest. Some of you just don't care. You are not even looking at people. You think people are the same after that epidemic? Look at people now. People walking around from early in the morning to late in the afternoon with frowns on their face, just angry. Are y'all looking at people? It's almost as if whatever they gave y'all, it ain't working too good. I guess sometime we have to fall. Regardless of who's trying to warn you. So I hope everybody have an amazing day, amazing week. This has been your brother from a different mother. 95 degrees in the shade, and the weatherman say everything will be A-okay. Till the next time you keep me in mind, your brother, the ghost, OGJAYSPEED.
Why are you going back and forth? I can't keep up with your mood swings. What is trouble in your mind? Are you doing this just to test me? I'm bad at handling this type of thing. Why I don't get it, you say it's a man thing. Babe, I wanna be your rock. I just wanna make your heart sing. But you're not letting me get through to you. If you let your guard down, baby, this is what I'll do. I'll do. Come on, baby. Love you, I will love you, I will love you like a queen. I'm willing to take you to a place you've never been. Love you, I will love you, I will love you like a queen. I would love to take you to a place you've never been. What is trouble in your mind? Baby, why can't you just tell me? I just wanna be your bride.